There's a motorcycle behind me. I need him to catch up. What is he doing? What's up, man? Love this guy. Look at him. Very nice. Love it. Very nice, bro. That's funny. That's a Lambo. It was the last time you seen one in Boynton Beach. Very interesting. Yesterday was such an awesome day of recording, but it turned sour, and I'll tell you why. In a few short moments.
Moments later.
Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the Magic Jellybean, and I'm feeling good, even though yesterday kind of sucked just a little bit. Well, yesterday was pretty good, but what happened kind of sucked. Which would be Wednesday. Today is Thursday. Thank you so much for stopping by on the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that. He just let me through. You're awesome. Comment on the video. I want to talk to you guys. I really do. I used to talk to you so much when I used to run my channel about 2 years ago, but you know how that happened. So basically, I had talked about 3 things that I really wanted to discuss that had happened to me over the course of the last 2 weeks. I got one part on Tuesday, and then I recorded the second part on Wednesday, and then I forgot that when you use GoPro on the Hero 5s, I don't know if this is for the 6 and the 7 and possibly the 8, but there's this feature called quick capture. So what it does is, if your GoPro is off and you have quick capture turned on, what it'll do is when you hit the record button, it turns the camera on and it starts the video. But what I forgot, even though I knew this going into it when I first bought the camera, I knew that if you do this, it does not work with your external mic. So what happens is it'll turn on and then your audio is just dead. And I used quick capture the whole day just to try it out, because you know it was pretty convenient. You just tap it. I don't have to worry about is it on or not, am I recording. Oh man. So that happened, and then basically all the footage I had, I got video but I got no sound. It was just dead. So I need to talk about what happened yesterday, which is kind of sucked, because I'm gonna start off with my first point. He lives in my neighborhood with me. Lives in my neighborhood with me. And he's got a 2008 Altima Coupe. Like, same color, same year. Obviously we have different rims. He doesn't have the racing aluminum rims I have. But the only difference is his car is automatic. That's really it. And he has a different spoiler, different shape, and different color, obviously. Mine is black, his is white. But it's the same car. I thought that was a scooter. And so I go in and out all the time. I've seen this car, you know, for at least 5 or 6 months. And so I was out yesterday at the DMV, which is another thing that I have to explain. I was out at the DMV, and I went to go to Subway before I was going to work. And I was supposed to park next to this adventure Kawasaki bike. It looked like a big old, like, 1,000 or 1,200 adventure bike, probably a twin or a 4-cylinder. And let me see. Yeah. So I went to go. I saw this Altima, and I was like, it's a white Altima. It's a 3.5. I'm definitely gonna park next to him, because he literally just got out the car and he was going inside Subway. So I was like, okay, if I'm fast enough, I can catch him and I can see. I'm like, wait. And then when I parked next to the Altima, which I'm obviously gonna show you the video if I haven't already. I'm gonna show you the video. I parked next to him, and then I saw his front bumper. And his front bumper was the exact same as my neighbor's. And I was like, no way, this has to be my neighbor. What are the odds that 10 miles away from home, in a 10-mile radius, imagine a circle on the map, but a 10-mile radius, there is a neighbor. I mean, there's so many possible locations he could be. You know, like, you know, when detectives are searching for fugitives, they put out the map and then they have the big circles with the red strings and whatnot. There's so many places he could be. And he just happens to be at this Subway. So I went inside. My camera was too dark because I forgot I don't have auto shutter on, so it was too dark. You couldn't really see his face, which is good, I guess, because I didn't ask him if he wanted to be on YouTube. So he I said, hey, do you live, you know, at blah 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 place? And And he's like, what do you mean? I said, over by Target and Hagen Ranch by Target, there's a little complex. And he's like, yeah, I do live there. And I said, that's your Altima outsider, right? He said, yeah. I said, bro, you know, I told him I'm your neighbor and I live next to you. So he was like, cool, man. And we met, we shook hands. It was so good. And we exchanged information. I told him, I said, I just had to come see you to see if you were my neighbor, because you know, you very rarely see Altima coupes up here in Boynton Beach. You see them a lot down in Kendall, but even rarer you see 3.5s. Usually every Altima coupe I've seen, whether it's first generation or second generation, is a 2.5, which is still cool, but you know, it's not the 6-cylinder. So it's just, you know, whenever I told him, you know, whenever I see Altima coupes, I just make it a point to go meet them, because it's like a cool little, you know, cool little club. It's so awesome. You know, always got to pay homage to the first vehicle that I used to start this YouTube channel. So he checked my YouTube channel out. We took some pictures, which I'll put up here, and they're on Instagram as well. Go follow me at instagram.com/T, the letter T, Magic Jellybean. And yeah, so we took some pictures. He followed me on YouTube. His name is well, I guess I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but if you go on Instagram, you'll see what his name is, but I'm not going to say it on YouTube just for his privacy. But he was awesome, and he was swole, man. He's so big. He looks like Sylvester Stallone in almost his prime days, probably like his latter prime days, maybe. But it was so cool. It was really cool. And that's pretty much what happened. And so I just got my sandwich. You know, we shook hands and whatnot, and then that was it. But that's how I met another Altima twin. If you remember back, I think maybe 2-3 years ago, I did a first video about where I met another Altima twin, but this one was a 2.5. It was still white though, and it was still first generation. So this one was even closer Altima twin. He had the exact engine too. It's just it was an automatic. So yeah, man, that was so fun. So that's the first thing that I missed when I was recording yesterday, because my audio died, is you unfortunately don't get to see, you know, the full presentation of me meeting him and whatnot. You don't get to see the full video of me meeting him, unfortunately. You only get to see the video and not the audio, so you don't get the full experience. That really sucks. It bums me out so much. Well, I mean, this is the first time it's really happened to me, but now I understand why it sucks when you go out and you get footage on a GoPro or whatever, and then when you come back and you find out it's bad footage, it's like, no! Because the first time, it's always the most pure experience you can get with whatever it is that they were shooting. And so it's like, I can go back and tell these stories, but it's just not the same as the first time when I did it, when you get to see it for yourself. So that was a bummer, but you know, these things happen. It was totally my fault. I forgot not to use quick capture. I was just using it because I did it on accident the first time, and I was like, oh, this is cool, I want to use this again. You know, it just turns my camera off. I don't have to sit there and hold the button like a little doofus. So yeah, that was it. So the second thing, this really cool guy, and I really wanted to make a separate video for him, but unfortunately I can't use my original video that I intended for him. So pretty much what happened, I met this really awesome BMW M3 driver. One day I was just going to work. This was the other day, actually, on a Tuesday, I believe. I pulled up at a light. There were two cars up there. One was just some random generic car. The other one was a BMW M3. It was an M3 like E66 or something. It had a whole bunch of words on it. I couldn't tell what it was. But when I pulled up to the M3, I kept having a thought in my mind, like, man, I hope this guy just takes off at the light and he just does a little something, because, you know, going to work is usually boring. And this was the day before I started recording again, so I didn't have my camera on me to record it. That sucks. The cool things always happen when you're not recording. But I took off at the light. Well, he took off at the light. He wasn't, I can tell, he went full throttle initially off the light, but after he passed like 50 miles an hour, I could tell he was just kind of taking it easy, because there was a school zone coming up anyway. And so I took off with him, and I wasn't, like I said, I could tell he kind of wasn't going all the way, because I know you know, the M3s, they got some juice up there near the top end. So I was just kind of doing just whatever to keep up with him. And then I finally, you know, ended up not catching up to him, but I finally got up to his level, and I looked over and I gave him the little okay sign like that. And I was like, yeah, man, you're cool, you know, because I was totally thinking that. And then he took off at the light, so my thoughts manifested. But he gave me the okay sign back, but I didn't look. You know why? Because when I gave him the okay sign, that was my right to neck him. So I have a neck on that guy now. And then this is the funny part. I passed him, and then I just kept going. He slowed down, whatever. Oh, there's another adventure bike over there. So then when I get to the next light, this street that I was driving on was a 2-lane road, and then there was a right lane that was going to turn right. And then after you cross the intersection, the right lane that's turning right turns into a 3rd lane, so it's a 3-lane afterward. But you're not supposed to use the right lane to cross the street. You can only use the right lane to turn right. So what he did was, I was at the light, it was red, it turned green, and we started to go, and this man went into the right lane and he gunned it all the way across the intersection. He just kept going, and it was funny. Even though you know, it's a little dangerous and illegal, I used to do that in my car. I don't do it anymore, because you just never know where cops are and whatnot, or you know, you don't know if a pedestrian's crossing the street. So I don't do those type of things anymore. But it was still hilarious. So I took it to him and I clapped, and I just kind of put my hands up and I just started clapping. I was clapping like a walrus, like this. And I turned around and we met at the next light, and sorry, it's just hard to concentrate. I think I'm near the hospital where this parking garage is. So we laughed it up. I met him at the light and I said, "Hey bro, what's your name?" We exchanged names, and I told him, I said, hey man, when I was at the light, I was totally thinking in my head, I hope this M3 guns it, and he gunned it. So I told him, I said, "You're a G, man, you're awesome." And I gave him a little fist bump. I told him I had a YouTube channel. That's why, because he was wondering why I had this thing on my helmet. When my camera's not on my helmet and I'm not recording, it just looks like there's a pogo stick on my helmet. So I had to explain what that was. So he went to my YouTube channel and he subscribed to me. I don't know what his name is, but I'm gonna put it obviously up here on the corner somewhere. He's cool, man. You get my cool points, bro, and you get this seven or so minutes worth of time of me explaining the story, because you were awesome. Never been in a parking garage before with this bike. Well, I've been once, but I never did it on video. This is pretty cool. So I'm gonna continue my story when I get to the top. I just wanted to soak in the awesomeness of that garage. That was pretty cool. And then there's one more thing. This is the thing that sucks. So I got a speeding ticket about 2 months ago. I wasn't thinking. I was going to Burger King in my car, and I was doing 43 and a 35, so they got me for under 9. And the officer was nice. He just gave me 40 and a 35. He said, slow down. It was a speed trap, and there was a big truck in front of me. You would never have seen it. So I didn't even see the officer until he stepped out in front of me. I could have seen the speed trap, but I wasn't even, like I said, my brain was not even inside my head that day. So I didn't even notice the police were there until the dude stepped out in the street. And he told me to stop, and I was like, oh snap, there's like 10 squad cars over there. Why didn't I see that? I paid that speeding ticket, right? And I didn't have to, but you know how you can take the 4-hour basic course and you can get the points off of your insurance and license if you wanted to. Hey, there's a GTR down there. I elected for the class. I've taken this class like 2 times now. I have all the answers saved on my computer. I could have did this in an easy like 2-3 hours, but I chose to just pay the ticket and not take the class. And little did I know, once you elect for the class, you're actually responsible. Oh, that's not a GTR, that's a 370Z, my bad. You're responsible to pay for the class. You're responsible to go to the class. I mean, even I paid for the ticket and the class, but I didn't go to class. So they suspended my license, and so what I had to do was I had to take a 12-hour ADI course plus 24 hours, because when you're halfway through, they make you take an obligatory 24-hour break. So I had to basically spend 36 hours taking a course just to unsuspend my license. And that's why I ended up going to the DMV And that's how I ended up meeting my neighbors, because I went to the DMV and I was like, you know, let me just go to Subway, because my birthday had passed recently. So I was like, let me just go, you know, Subway, use my $10 gift card that I got from Subway. And moral of the story is, make sure you take your class. It's only 4 hours. If you know that you're not going to take your class, go ahead and just pay the ticket. The reason why I just paid the ticket and decided not to do the class is because I knew that when I turned 25, I literally just turned 23. So in 2 years, my driving record is going to be wiped anyways. So I really don't care about the extra 2 or 3 points that's going to be on my license, because it's going to be gone anyway. So that was a bummer. But that's pretty much everything that happened from... This is such a nice view. Really love this. But that's pretty much everything that happened from Wednesday. That's pretty much everything that I was saying on Wednesday. Obviously, you know, I presented it in a better way because I had the videos ready. Alrighty, that's pretty much the end of my vlog, guys. If you're still here, I don't know if I'm going to use this as my ending point or not, but if you made it to the end, outro crew, make sure you like, subscribe. Remember, comment so I can talk to y'all, because that's what the cool kids do. And just support this channel. We're at we're trying to climb to 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized again, because I used to make like 20 bucks a month on YouTube. That is paper right there. But anyways, thank you so much for sticking to the end. Put in the comments, the M3 is a gangster. Alright guys, I am your host, the Magic Jellybean. This has been a wonderful day, and until the next time, I will see you later.